Besides that, nobody's allowed to look at the aura. The aura has to be covered. Now, I went at this as we said before, that is also something which you have to pay attention to, which is the deceased. If you harm them, the Messenger of Allah is saying, as if you are harming them whilst they are alive. He doesn't like it that I do that, or I do that. He doesn't like that. So whilst he is there, just because he can't feel it, or I think he can't feel it, that's not allowed. Yeah? Right. So we cover the aura. Right. The aura here, just by way of benefit, it doesn't include the knee, and it doesn't include the navel. What's your navel? Have you got a navel? Have you got one? Yeah? Let's just pretend it's there, yeah? So we cover from the navel to... So the Hanafis there, I said it includes the knee and includes the navel. Right, so when you're covering your aura, when you're wearing a ihram, when you're wearing a towel around you or something, they say it includes the navel and the knee. So that's why they say you have to wear 3/4. But if it's not covering the knee, that's fine, and if it's not covering, it's between the navel and the knee, according to the majority. So the Shaykh says, number one, we conceal the aura. Now concealing the aura, the Shaykh says this is very important, two things. Number one, not only are we concealing his aura in his body, but we are concealing his secrets. So Allah knows best how the person has passed away, what kind of a person he was. But concealing the aura, if you're covering his private parts, we have to cover his aura in general, which is that you now go do ghusl, and it happens that you see a bad sign. May Allah protect us and give us all husnul khatim. But the person has a bad sign. The person's face has changed. The person has marks on his body. Sometimes people's facial expressions are, you can't move them. Sometimes people's face become darkened, not darkened in the sense that their complexion, maybe even their complexion, but there's no difference between skin colour. The skin colour, Allah created that, but we're talking about a darkness in this. You can see that this person is gloomy. You can see those things, but then the opposite as well. The opposite as well. The person died, had a stroke, but now we're washing him, all of a sudden he's got a smile on his face. That happens, and this is perfectly, people who have done ghusl before, they will see this, they will experience this. It's as if he's looking at something that's, but he's passed away, his soul has left his body. How has his facial expression changed? It is possible. So the Shaykh is saying here, the second thing we have to pay attention to here, he's got an aura, we're preserving an aura. But there's also an aura when it comes to his honor. The second thing now, the Shaykh says, we mix up water with sidr, if it's possible. And now we are beginning to wash this person. The first thing that we do now, the Shaykh doesn't mention this, but like I said, we've done this before. One of the things that you'll probably find people do, so now we've covered his aura, what we do is we push his stomach gently. Some of them say you can get like a brick or something like that, so that's what I'll put a brick on him. But that, I think, is, obviously you're going to get a brick from somewhere, it's going to look strange, and it could also harm the person, so not necessarily a brick. Why are we pushing his stomach? We want him to become skinny. Is that what he said? Why are we pushing his stomach? When was the last time he ate? Does anybody know?
Yeah, he's just to empty his...
We don't know the last time he ate. What's he got in his stomach? We don't know. It might not even be his stomach. He could have an illness or something like that. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to remove the najasa as much as we can. Gently pushing his stomach. And some of the ulama have said what you do is you make him sit up a little bit and go down a bit as much as you can. Obviously you don't want to harm him, maybe once or twice and that's it. Now, if there is any kind of najasa, it's left the body. Again, you're covering the aura. Right? So now the Shaykh says we begin by making istinja. Cover his aura, but we're washing underneath. Now, there's a lot of shower heads and things that people use now. So we're showering underneath, clearing the aura. If you want to wipe underneath, especially if there is a need, and the scholars, what they have said is that you wrap something around, so you are not directly touching the aura. So I'm going underneath, obviously using my left hand, not my right hand, because we use the left hand, and we are touching it, but not directly. So I'm cleaning, I'm not feeling anything, I'm just cleaning like that. Right, aura is remaining covered. Now we are going to do wudu. So now the istinja has been completed, just like how you would do yourself, perhaps. Istinja, wudu, ghusl. Same thing, istinja is done. Now we're doing wudu. Okay, so now this is very important as well, not only for the deceased, but if you've got children. If you need to change nappies and things like that. Normally, you start from your right hand side. But when you're doing it for the person, you start from his right hand side, even though it's your left hand side. That's very important. So a person says, let's start from the right. Who's right? Start from my right, you start from his left. But we're cleaning him. It's about him. So now we're making wudu, as you would normally do. But because we've taken everything out, when you're now washing the mouth and the nose, you are not pouring water in. So the Shaykh says here, when you do the mouth and the nose, there is no gargling or anything. You are using some kind of like a swab or something similar to clean inside and the mouth and the nose. Complete rule. Now we're doing ghusl with water mixed with normal water and sidr, and you wash it, starting with the right hand side, the left hand side, and then the rest of the body. So that's 3 washes with water and sidr. If the person then wanted to leave the water and sidr, there is no harm, then the Shaykh moves on to using perfume, but sometimes the person would then water and sidr, and then normal water, just to remove the water. And the sidr and the water, the sidr mixture is very good. The Prophet ﷺ, even when his daughter passed away, Zainab, he said, wash her with water and sidr, and it's good for the body, it strengthens the body as well, and the skin. And then the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, pour camphor on the deceased. Camphor is a type of perfume. It's got a distinct smell, you've probably smelled it before. And the reason why is that because that's a more of a cleanly smell. I don't know if you can call it that. It's more of a clean smell. But also, like I said, it solidifies the body. It makes it better. Now, this is very important. When you pass away, you just become meat. You just become meat. That's it. I remember one person that passed away. Their jaw, drop your jaw. The jaw was dropped like that. You try to put it back up, there's no action left. There's no ability left. So the jaw kept dropping. Sometimes the person passes away and you don't look so like the way he's lying now is very good. But as soon as the person passes away, if his arms are everywhere, his legs are everywhere, it's going to be very difficult for you to make him straight again.